If you are tired of those calf cramps, then here are 3 things you can do right now to help release some of that tension through your calves. Furthermore, you may be surprised at a smaller hidden muscle in your calves that might be the real cause of your troubles. So let's dive into these 3 stretches to help find some relief through your calves, and stick around because we're going to talk about that hidden muscle in your calves as well. Take your time stretching. So you've probably seen this stretch here in Down Dog, where you bring your heels down to the mat to help stretch out your calves. Or maybe this stretch where you lean against a wall and force your heel down to the mat. And while both of these can be helpful, there's still one big problem with them. We tend to use a lot of strength to hold ourselves up in these poses. So if your strength starts giving out, then you might not be spending as much time in these poses as you should. Here's what I like to do instead. Pretend these chairs are your bed, and that way you can just lay your full torso all the way on the bed here. Maybe even prop yourself on your forearms, whatever works for you, but you have a lot more support here, and you can spend a lot more time in this stretch because you won't be burning out your strength. And I would even recommend setting a timer for at least 3 minutes on each side. Yes, a full 3 minutes to really get deep into your calves, to take that time to allow them to release. Explore different angles. Our calves are a pretty big muscle, so I would recommend changing the angle of your stretch just a little bit. If I move my ankle this way, then I feel it on the outer edge of my calf a little bit more. Or if I move it this way, then I tend to feel things on the inner edge of my calf. Give yourself a little permission to move your foot, your heel, and then maybe lean to one side or another. However, please be cautious. You only need to move your heel just a tiny bit or lean just a little bit to one side or the other to change where you're going to feel this stretch. As always, that mind-body connection is very important. We want things to feel good, and we don't want to feel any sharpshooting pain. And if you want a full class where we do a deep dive into helping to release those tight, cramped up calf muscles, then go ahead and click on the card here above or click on the link in the description below. It's roughly a 30-minute class, and it goes through a lot of the stretches we do in this short video as well as a bunch more. But now let's move on to that hidden muscle I was talking about, because I've saved the best for last. The hidden calf muscle. So here's the thing. Calf cramps are often thought of as just happening right here in this big muscle on the backside of our legs. It's called the gastrocnemius. However, there's another important muscle that we tend to ignore while stretching out this area. If you really want to release this area, then there's another important muscle called the soleus we need to focus on. The soleus actually runs underneath that big gastrocnemius muscle there, and you need a little bit of a different stretch to help target it. When you're doing a normal calf stretch like this, then most of the stretch actually is going into that bigger muscle there. And if you're still getting calf cramps, then it might be the soleus underneath that could be the cause of the problem. And so to stretch out the soleus, we actually need to break a few yoga rules. First off, come into a modified lunge here and bring your knee past your ankle. Now, normally bringing your knee past your ankle in a lunge is not really proper yoga form, but that's only when we're putting weight down into our leg here. We actually want our weight to kind of come forward. We want to drive our knee forward like this, which will help direct that stretch way down into the bottom third of your calf, which is actually right there where that soleus is. And it's a subtle feeling, so take your time. But if you've never stretched out this muscle before, then you're going to know it right when you feel it. And remember, time matters here. So give yourself 2 or 3 minutes on each side to gently come into this pose and find that stretch. Again, if you'd like a full class where we do a deep dive into helping release the tension through your calves, then go ahead and click on the video here and be sure to subscribe and follow me for more.